This week's scenario is incoming from the Steamroller 2015 packet. The scenario does not have the Killbox Artifice in effect and consists of two rectangular zones. The friendly zone can be dominated for 1 CP. The enemy zone can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs. And your enemy's objective can be destroyed for 1 CP. First player to reach 5 control points or caster assassination wins the game.
Hey everybody, this is Gaston, and today we're playing Epic Fiora's Theme Force, World of Flame. When this theme force was first released, it hit the meta with all the excitement of a soggy sandwich, so naturally we had to put this on YouTube for everybody to enjoy.
Pokey here. It's been a while since I've been able to get to the Skorne, so I went ahead and dropped Skorne into today's battle report. Started with Makeda, the normal trio of beast load, very typical infantry load for P-Makeda. So, usually really common to have her have the Cetrati in there, and the Legends of Halaak. Let's see how they work out today.
So I spent a fair amount of time dojoing this list and trying to come up with a good way of running this theme force. When you're looking at doing theme forces, there's really two things you need to approach, and that's why are you running it? Is there a specific benefit for it, or are you just doing it for the story? And in this particular case, I was doing it because of the fact that it gave defensive line to the Cinerators, and I really kind of thought that that was a great buff for them, and this is kind of the only way we can get it. Also, they come out in that 2-player starter set. A lot of people just have Cinerators that they never use, so here's a great way of showcasing them. The other thing you need to think of with a theme force are what are the benefits, what are the costs, and where do you actually want to go with the theme. You don't need to go to tier 4 with all of these theme forces. This particular one I got everything I needed at tier 2, so that's where I cut it off at.
Alright, for deployment, it's kind of weird, so I went ahead and decided to go more central with the caster and the beasts, which is kind of typical. I mean, why not? And then I moved the my Cetrati to the center. That way they can kind of go where they're needed. I figured I'd probably try to use the Nihilators to go up against the Incendiary, or whatever, no, is Cinerators. Incendiary or Skorne models. The Cinerators, my hope was that I could out-threat them, maybe digging them up some, because they're not like normal, for Protectorate, they're not the normal heavy guys that can share the wounds and be all crazy. So I'm hoping I can get in there and whittle them down with a couple good swings. I'm pretty sure I out-threat them, being speed 6 and all. And the support goes in the back. The Legends are between the Nihilators and the battle group.
I advanced deployed the Wracks. I put them in a typical triangle formation, one of them behind Fiora, the other two forward so she can advance into them. So, even though this is the theme force for her, it plays out pretty much exactly like you would expect any other Fiora list to play out. She's going to allocate one to each of her Warjacks, the Judicator will get one from the Reliquary, she's going to cast Escort, and just jog on up forward. I went ahead, I took the Cinerators, they ran on up as well as they could with that hedge in the way, and they just went base to base for their defensive line bonus. And Armor 19, I know we're all kind of not spoiled by Warders, but maybe scarred from Warders with their Armor 21, but Armor 19 is some really nice stats for a medium base unit. So now we have the Zealots, they're just going to run, they're going to do you can't target me with spells. Keeping the Monolith bearer back, we're keeping him safe. He doesn't have a lot of ranged weaponry, I don't think he has any ranged weaponry, but it's always a good practice just to make sure you're keeping that Monolith bearer safe. Leaving a nice little gap for the Hand of Judgment to run into. Because he doesn't have any ranged attacks, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have the Jacks all get immunity to spells just in case. And then they're going to run up as well.
Turn 1. My turn 1 is going to be pretty standard. Things are just going to end up running, blah, blah, blah. So, the speed with Escort on Fiora is pretty fantastic. She can get up the table, have her battle group get up the table pretty damn quick. So I got to get up there to get in the zone to start contesting without giving anything up. So I'm cautiously advancing, probably not as cautious as I should, but things are still going to run. I'm hoping that I can get up there, not take too many hits, and still be able to have something left for some return damage. Ended up putting Defender's Ward on the Cetrati and Savagery up on the Legends of Halaak. Figured 11-inch advance and still being able to do all the swings and everything else would be kind of funny. Downside is, because I activated the Nihilators first, I didn't quite get a chance to advance the Legends as far forward as I was hoping. Because of the hill, I couldn't quite get the last one to sit up on the hill, so there's a proxy base for that one. And of course the Gladiator advances forward, beast handlers, and yeah, that's my turn.
So Protectorate is a very reactionary army. They're not typically the ones doing the alpha striking. So usually when you're going into turn 2, that's kind of like the setup turn, where we're going to have the Zealots come forward, they're going to jam things up and pop mini feet. We're going to go ahead and have the Jacks just kind of get in position for the next turn charge, where hopefully everything will go our way, and then the attrition battle will swing in my favor. So one of the things I'm doing a little bit with is Order of Activations, and because I'd like to carpet bomb those Nihilators, it isn't her feet turn yet. If I can kill a few of them prior to her feet turn, that helps me out a lot. So I have the Zealots going. They're actually advancing. They're chanting Fervor. Again, there's not really much in the way of spells to concern me. They are popping their mini feat, Greater Destiny, so that way they can not be damaged except for spells and feats. And then they're just going to chuck a couple bombs at some Nihilators, trying to kill a few. They don't do fantastically well. Either some misses or some Mount Armor or some tough checks. I think they kill one of them. So there's 3 Nihilators up there up front that I'm kind of targeting. So we got some scatters. And the Zealots, especially when you're new to the game, the Zealots and all their bombs can be kind of time consuming, particularly when you're running, 10 Zealots with the Judicator and all of his rocket pods. And it's just something that you will get with practice. Not all the Zealots need to throw bombs all the time, so you just kind of do the ones that are important when you're on the clock. So the other thing I'm being very careful about in this list is threat ranges. Because he has Savagery up, and he has Rush available to him as well, he can actually launch that Bronzeback a very, very long distance. He can launch Molik Karn even further to a sidestep. It's very, very dangerous to me. So it's something I'm being very careful about. I'm using the Zealots with their mini feet to kind of create a wall, so that way I'm kind of safe. Yeah, I have the Reckoner going. He's just popping a random shot at a Cetrati, trying to do a little bit of damage. Again, because they're going to go in shield wall, you're going to have that feet turn, they're going to have Defender's Ward up, and it's going to be a pain in the butt to dislodge them. So the more damage you can get kind of earlier, the better off you'll be. Now you have the Judicator going. He's not advancing very far, again because of that Molik Karn threat range. I'm very worried about that. So what he is trying to do is get some fire AoEs onto the Nihilators. Again, try to burn a couple of them. And unfortunately it's just gonna... I don't think I get particularly good scatters this time around. And the scatters aren't... just have no impact really. Because of her bond, all of the scatters do cause fire, which is super duper useful for me. And it's probably a good thing that the Zealots pop their mini feet, because I actually caught one of my own. But not a big deal, really. And the Judicator attempts to flamethrower that Cetrati, but he's out of range. He does catch another Zealot, but they're Zealots, we don't really care. So the Hand of Judgment just kind of scoots up. Again, being very concerned about the threat range on that Bronzeback, about him trampling or doing something silly like that. And then Fiora backs up a little safety, we pass turn.
Pretty eventful turn for Gaston. I lost, looks like I lost one of my Nihilators, one's knocked down, and those guys are under the mini feet. and also can't be targeted by spells or something like that. So they're pretty much impervious to my list at this point. And they're a pretty good screening unit. So now I got to figure out how to get around, how to do what I need to do. So I know I upkeep Defender's Ward, and I upkeep Savagery. I figured, well, might as well upkeep it while I can, because not a whole bunch else going to be happening with those Zealots right there. Activate the Nihilators. They take the run charge order. The one guy stands up, forfeits. The two guys end up forfeiting their actions for movements. So they are now moving where they're moving. And the other one is, now we're trying to figure out if I can fit through the bases without taking any free strikes. It was close, so we just went ahead and moved the guy closer to the other side, close to the Zealot, so I didn't get a free strike from the one up top, and I was still able to get into melee. The other guys just decided to run. The rest of the Nihilators decided to run because I'm just trying to tie up as many of those Zealots as I possibly can. Next turn, I don't want them to be able to move away and just bomb me. So I get to roll the dice, do a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, and then, you know, move on to the next unit. I really like playing the Makedas. I don't know if anybody cares or not. I find all three of the Makedas to be really, they play to my playstyle, which is more of an upfront type caster, and she's just really a lot of fun. All three of her incarnations are a lot of fun to me. There's not a lot that she can't do in the lists or in the game, so I find her fun. So yeah, I just like playing her. I like her playstyle, much like Xerxes. I like Xerxes' playstyle as well. He's very upfront, very in your face. Deliver him to the other person's army. Hopefully, it disintegrates in front of him. Kind of similar to Makeda, except for she likes to deliver Molik Karn or something else to the front line. Alright, so the rest of the action that's been going on, we have the Legends of Halaak advanced to stay on the hill. And base to base, they get +2 defense for being on together. So with that plus the hill, hopefully I don't get them shot. And then Gobbers moved forward. The Cataphract moved forward. Did shield wall, so now they're like arm 22, defense 14. It's pretty insane, pretty nice. Unfortunately, they don't like being on fire. They don't like warjacks coming in because warjacks just destroy them. So that's them. Activating the caster, she's coming around the corner a little bit because I need to make sure she gets further forward. And then I activate Molik Karn. He comes forward, put a proxy base there, and he does 2 for his Animus of Fate Walker, which comes in really nice because allows him to do a lot of nifty things, and well, it gets him to where he can move backwards at the end of the turn. So he moved behind the cloud to hopefully not get hit.
So remember I said before that turn 2 is usually kind of the setup turn. The Zealots have moved up, they've popped their mini feet, they've successfully guarded my jacks from being alphaed out, so now it's my turn to really take that hit to them. And the goal for this turn primarily is to remove both Molik Karn and the Bronzeback. The idea being that with both of those guys out of the way, his army won't have enough juice to actually power through 2 heavies and a Judicator. So with that in mind, this is also very likely going to be my feet turn. So there's a lot of order of activations that need to happen here, especially because the Nihilators have been jamming up the Zealots. He did pop his feet, so that's a concern to me as well. Fiora goes ahead, she allocates 3 out to the Hand of Judgment, and then she's going to go ahead and fill up the Judicator as well, and he will get, she'll upkeep Escort, and then he'll get 1 off the Reliquary, so that'll account for her focus there. Then, again, I'm just trying to go through some order of activations, issues here. The Nihilators have reach. I would like the Zealots to be able to use their bombs to kind of clear some of those guys out. And then again, we have the Cinerators there. They're somewhat engaged. If I can use them to clear off the Zealots as well, that'd be very advantageous to me. So now we're allocating off to the Judicator. So then the Cinerators are going to go. The Nihilators kind of bounced off of them last turn, the one that got in there. So, and then they're just swinging on those guys. They're going to just kill them off, do some flame bursting. A lot of people just kind of poop on flame burst, but you know what? It's an extra effect. Within Fiora's command range, you're going to get extra focus for it. It's also not going to go out, which is a big deal. Power moving up, they're going to go ahead and champ battle. So one of the tricks that you can do with the Zealots that's kind of fun is that you can take a free strike from them, and that will bump them up +4 armor. And then now when they start chucking bombs at each other, the bombs are POW 8s, the Zealots are armor 16, it's dice -8, you're very unlikely to kill your own Zealot. So now I've got some of the Zealots aiming, I'm marking them. Some are just kind of moving out of the way. Other ones, I think there's another free strike going on here. So he's moving out of the way for the Reckoner's charge range onto Molik Karn. Now we're just checking to make sure they're not engaged as they move around. And I also am trying to open up a charge range for the Hand of Judgment. The Hand of Judgment cannot see the Bronzeback, but he can see those goblins. So as long as he's got the 12 inches to that Bronzeback, I can just charge one of the Gobbers and then take my attack on that guy, then just reach over and start swinging on the Bronzeback, even though I don't have line of sight to him. It does cost me, my charge, but one, he charges for free because of the fire. Also, I've got fuel cash, so he'll double charge for free, basically. So now we've got the Zealots going. They're lobbing their bombs. They're killing some Nihilators, getting them all out of the way. I guess I got a crit on one of the Nihilators to get some fire out there as well. So, and I mean, they're all going to come back from the feat turn, but what I'm trying to do is sort of clear out charge lanes, which is important to me. And then also, the more Nihilators you remove, the fewer tactical options he has when it comes to placing him back. Skorne can do a lot of really weird things with that feat, with bringing infantry models back. Fiora's feat is also kind of a nice counter to it, because if there's all the remaining Nihilators from that unit are within her feat, she can just move the fire to them, and then burn them all out next turn, and then none of them are coming back. The problem kind of solves itself. So what we're doing with Judicator here is he's going to move up, he's going to pop his first rocket onto the Cetrati, and the purpose of this is to basically light them all on fire. I'm not anticipating it doing a lot of damage to them, and I'm not particularly anticipating a lot of benefits, but I am trying to get that focus for my feat turns, that way I can fill up the Reckoner and then still cast Ignite on it as well, take advantage of all that. Next up, the Judicator is taking a rocket pod on one of the Zealots, who I'm worried is in the way of the charge range of the Reckoner. And he actually ends up, ironically, directly hitting and killing both of them, so problem solved there. And now I'm just taking both spray attacks on Molik Karn. They both hit, and I boost damage on one of them. And unfortunately, the total damage that comes out of those is like 4 total. Just some dice right there. But any extra damage I can get on Molik Karn, if I can kill him quickly with the Reckoner, means I'm buying more attacks on the Bronzeback and trying to be more efficient, have more attacks going into both of them, and with enough attacks, you have enough opportunities. So here I'm measuring my control area 12 inches, the Bronzeback is just out, and that makes me incredibly worried that the Hand of Judgment did not move up far enough the previous turn to actually get a charge range in. So right now I'm also kind of debating, I would really like to get the Legends of Halaak into her feat, They are currently out, and it's kind of a risk thing, you know. Do I advance far enough to get them in? Does that block off the charge range for the Hand of Judgment? So I go ahead, I leave her where she's at. I start scooting the fire around. I scoot it onto the Gobbers. I scoot it onto the Annihilator, who is in control. I get my focus. I allocate out to the Reckoner, and then I put Ignite on him as well. So he's going to go ahead and be POW 21 with a free charge. So next up, the Reckoner's just going in, and he's charging Molik Karn. You could see him through the edge of the cloud, and he's charging such that he is able to get both Molik Karn and the Bronzeback. And he hit with his Assault Shot. I think I got a reroll there from Pokey, but everything hit, not a problem. So his attacks bring Molik Karn down to 1 health, so I gotta buy the attack to finally finish him off. And then I'm able to buy, I believe, 2 attacks onto the Bronzeback as well, or maybe just 1 attack. No, it's 2 attacks, because at the end of this, the Bronzeback effectively has not a whole heck of a lot of health left. The Reckoner just went in there, he did a fantastic job. So now I'm stuck with this dilemma of, I think the Hand of Judgment is out of charge range. So what we're going to do instead is, rather than risk a failed charge, the Hand of Judgment's going to advance his 7. We're going to check to see if the Bronzeback is within 5 for the Feed the Flames bonus. And one, I would have gotten the answer on whether or not I was in charge range, which it turns out I was about an 1/8 of an inch out. So this is the right call. And then we're just going to do the Flamethrower Spray. So we worked it out. The Bronzeback is damaged enough that I needed 10 on the damage in order to kill it. All because of the affinity, all the sprays are boosted. I go ahead and I make the tactical decision to roll triple 1s to miss the Bronzeback. I know it's, you know, not necessarily the most normal decision, but that's kind of the one I went with. So unfortunately the Bronzeback is going to survive. I also missed the boosted attack on Makeda as well. I did manage to kill a Gobbo.
If you didn't miss it, I ended up popping feet on turn 2. So I will be placing my models back out. Just trying to make sure that I get proper placement before they all have to go. There's of course fire checks, and I don't know who's in, who's out. I'm not 100% sure on when everybody's supposed to be out. Hopefully somebody will be able to help me out with this. I always forget the timing. That's the thing I always forget. I think Gaston kept me honest though. So yeah, now I'm just trying to add those guys out, make sure they all daisy chain out, get to where they need to go to, staying in command range, plus getting somewhere they can hopefully kill something. You know, it's always the hope. And so they're out. Then the fires. And losing Molik Karn in that last round was pretty tough. And the Bronzeback is very beat up. He's like sitting on like 5 or 6 health or something like that. He's sitting on something really low. Right now he has one of his aspects out and sitting in with the Reckoner, I think it's called. And then the other Jack sitting on the hill, and the Judicator sitting way over there with no damage on it. This is not good. I really needed Molik Karn to not have died. But life happens, so let's move forward. Going to start with putting Rush on the Gladiator, because the Gladiator is going to have to do some work. He's not going to be able to sit in the back and do nothing this game. And then cast... what did I end up casting? Thought it was going to be Carnivore, but I decided against it because I think I needed to heal the Bronzeback so he can be enraged to kill something. Of course, Makeda goes in. She charges. I go to swing, do minimal damage, and because of who she is, I'm able to sidestep, which is nice. Like the sidestep. I think we're trying to figure out now if sidestep ignores the free strike or not. And we figure out that it doesn't. now the Nihilators get to go. Epic Fiora is probably one of my favorite casters in Protectorate. She's really hard to not like. She likes the fire. She likes to burn stuff. It's not, I don't like her so much when I have to face up against her. And in the hands of Gaston, just makes it even worse for me. So yeah, so now I'm trying to see what I can do to take out some of his people. And just Nihilators in there just hoping to do some damage, but unfortunately, you know, I'm able to kill the little single wound guys and, you know, put some dents into the Cinerators. So let's hope that I can continue keeping things bogged down that side. I'm going to start with the go next, not start with, but move next to the Cataphract, who are now going to get the order to charge. They're all going to charge the Judicator because, well, that's a big base. You know, there's no reason not to charge it. So I'm going to have them charge around, do different things, and yeah. So now it's everybody charges in, all the dice are rolled, and we're going to see what we can do for damage. I think I do fairly well with a lot of the damage on the Judicator, being weapon masters, getting the 3-inch charge on most of them. I am down, I want to say it's like dice -9, but it's off of 4 dice, so chances are I should be getting some good rolls. I did have that one that charged, that one new character, Jack, can't remember his name. So, you know, hopefully there was some damage there. And of course I ended up rolling my little box and can't really see what the rolls are. So Gaston's over there marking some damage and everything else. I did end up upkeeping Defender's Ward at least. Now the Legends of Halaak are gonna activate. They're going to charge. They're charging that Jack. I'm hoping that if I can do this right, with them having flank with each other and everything else, I can get them to do some damage. So now it's a matter of trying to figure out who's swinging on what and everything else. I will tell you that with this being their first outing for me, I did forget that they basically become weapon masters because of the flank. I just basically used the +2 to hit for them, and the relentless charge that they have. So that's what so I did that. Did some pretty decent damage. 2 of them getting 2 attacks each, and then the one getting the single attack. They are lower POWs. I think POW's like 10, 11, and then 12 is the max for the one with the staff, or whatever it's called. So yeah, so it was it was pretty nice. The leader, the guy with the dual swords, he does have the sidestep ability, which granted, so they all actually had sidestep. Kind of wish I would have reread that on the card before. So now the Bronzeback activates. He moves over. He's been, I think, enraged or healed. I think he's just been healed, because I think that's what the one beast handler did, was healed him. And then he went and put Trainwreck up, and now he's beating back the one Jack. I'm hoping to get him more out of the way, getting the Bronzeback closer to the Judicator, and between more or less between the Judicator and my caster, because the last thing I need is my caster to not have something in front of her and the Judicator just going to town on her. So I get to where I need to go. I stop pushing, then I back up one. Bronzeback was able to kill off the Reckoner, and now it's the Gladiator's turn with Rush up. I'm like, maybe he'll get there, maybe he won't. So with Rush, we measured out, definitely plenty of room to get there. Alright, so we moved him. One, to boost it to hits, because I really want to make sure I hit him. And then now I'm just basically just buying attacks and being enraged. He's able to do that. So both of his heavies dropped. Good turn for me.
So that hurt a lot. And I mathed it out, and Pokey basically rolled 130% average on damage. So if you ever get the chance to meet him or online, give him a lot of shit about that. He deserves it. So we're down to plan D here. I still gotta kill the Gladiator and the Bronzeback. And what we're going to try to do is angle for some scenario action, where Fiora's going to come in, she's going to try to kill, looks like there's 3 Cetrati and a member of the Mariachi Band of Halaak in there that I need to get out of the way in order for the Judicator to swing around and beat up the 2 heavies. The Judicator's down to about 20 health, but all of his systems are in place, so we're going to work on that. The Zealots are going. They were just trying to get some damage out there. And then on the bottom side of the screen, we've got the Nihilators are jamming up the Cinerators. The Cinerators have done an excellent job this game. They've just taken hit after hit, and they really haven't cared at all. Like, maybe 2 of them are damaged a little bit. So, good job, Cinerators. Very proud of you guys. So the Zealots are going, they're just kind of clearing that room. Now I'm counting out Fiora's focus here. Making sure I have enough, because we're also going to need to boost the fire steps to kill off those Cetrati. So, just trying to make sure that there's no way that this is going to go horribly wrong at all. Fiora pulls off the Wrack, it goes ahead and blows up. She's going to go ahead and charge the one who has the most health, essentially. And she's charging to max reach, but making sure that all of the ones that are important to her are within range for Fire Step. So she goes ahead, she charges in, make great use of the widget and proxy bases and dice to prop things up on a hill. Does her charge attack, kills him off, fire steps, boost. And I don't think I boosted on the Legend of Halaak guy. I think he was hurt enough, his armor was low enough that it was just good enough. And it's very successful, and it kills all the guys who are in my way away. And then Fiora is able to back up within 3 inches, I believe, and get out of Judicator's way. So that worked out incredibly well. So now Judicator, we're going to have the Choir obviously chain battle. The Judicator is going to roll on over and engage both the Bronzeback and the Gladiator. I'm trying to scoot it so I minimize the amount of free strikes I get from the remaining Cetrati. They are weapon masters. The Judicator is very hurt. I don't want to be losing systems at this point in the game. Particularly, the Theme Force doesn't allow you to take any mechanics, so I guess Fiora has some fluff thing against him. So he does end up taking a free strike. It knocks out his left arm, so that's why he's facing the way it is, so he gets his right arm in on both. The first right arm swing takes out the Bronzeback, and then he buys the rest of the swings on the Gladiator. Now, as it so happens, I managed to miss one of those swings, which leaves the Gladiator on about 6 health remaining, and on fire for what that's worth. So that was a little frustrating, but what can you do? So we've got the Cinerators coming in now, and they're going to start swinging on the Nihilators. And what we're doing with them is, one, we're keeping them all base to base, and I'm picking my targets, so that way I'm maximizing my Flame Burst. So that way, I only get 5 attacks, and I'm trying to go through this whole unit of infantry. But with Fiora's aura, keeping the continuous fire going, I'm really able to get a lot of use out of Flame Burst.
Alright, turn 4. this is a knockdown, drag out fight. I'm telling you, it is. Oof. It's getting dangerous up in here. All right, so I lost to Bronzeback last round. I'm now sitting with the Gladiator, who's fortunate enough to be able to be, there. Judicator took some free strikes, was able to knock out some systems. So now I have to figure out how to take out the Judicator with just the Gladiator as my one heavy, and then Weapon Masters on the one side. I went ahead and let Savagery drop. It makes no sense. I let Defender's Ward drop because this is going to be an epic turn, and I'm hoping that things go my way. So far this game, I have been following the Michael Plummer school of thought, which is roll better, and so far it's been doing okay, for the most part. I'm not going to say it's been great, I'm just going to say it's been doing pretty good for the most part. So I'm going to start with the easier portions first, which is the Annihilator charging in, trying to take on all the Cinerators on his own, because, well, he's that kind of a guy, I guess. So he's going to make swings, do no real damage to them. Those guys just won't die. I was thinking, hey, I got this. These guys are going to be easy. I got this. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So now I'm going to activate the Cetrati, and the Cetrati are going to once again charge his Judicator, because they're going to get back on him like ticks. But first of all, I'm going to activate my caster. She's going to cast Carnivore or Karna something, her thing that says people get to hit easier. And then she's going to charge the Judicator, because like I said, this is going to be an epic turn. So she goes in, she charges, does a combo strike, does some damage, and I think I end up spending pretty much everything just to buy attacks on that thing, hoping to do some form of damage to it. Of course, the Judicator, you really don't need the help to hit, but it doesn't hurt much if you can get it, something for everybody else to help hit easier. So now that's done. Now we go to the Cetrati. The Cetrati now take the charge order. They're going to charge the Judicator. Once again, having reach and then having the big base, it makes it to where I can still get the distance I need to. And I make this, make the moves as I needed. One goes on the side, one goes on the front, and I think I have one that's actually stuck still by a Zealot. There's still a stupid Zealot over there. So he just charges the Zealot because, well, they, why not? Clear the zone, kill the Zealot, just get the zone cleared. Or that Zealot on the far side out of the way anyways. And then the Nihilators go, and not the Nihilators, but the Cetrati go, and those two rolled better, school of rolling better. We're able to take out the Judicator. So now I have my Beast Handlers and Gladiator and what's left of the Legends of Halaak. So Beast Handlers advance. They swing on the one Zealot and enrage the Gladiator. Gladiator then puts 2 for his Animus of Rush. He then charges through the rough terrain, going into Fiora and rolling the dice out. And first hit was good, and then after that it's just buying and boosting to hit and damages, and rolling well enough to finish her off. Thanks for watching.
So overall, I think the list played out pretty well. I was very pleased with it. I was especially pleased with the Cinerators and defensive line. There were definitely a couple mistakes I made throughout the game, a couple dice rolls that went not my way, but if the Hand of Judgment had been up half an inch, I hadn't been too cautious with him, or if Fiora had moved up a little bit in order to catch the Legends of Halaak into her feet, then both of those could have made huge differences in the game. But thank you all for watching. Appreciate it.